report. Let's get started. Risk disclaimer: when this says risk in trading, please always use trade capital only. Do not trade with money you can afford to lose. If you're trading stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptos, you know the deal. Social media, make sure it's me. YouTube.com/Chris Pulver. All the handles real Chris Pulver, verified on Twitter at real Chris Pulver, and Instagram as well. Let's get into the charts. Currency strength overnight, New Zealand dollar. I think there were inflation expectations, and that would have been overnight. Inflation expectations 2.79. So does that mean the central bank is not looking to raise rates and all of a sudden the Kiwi gets crushed? Because based on what we see for price today, that's what looks to be the case. So this would have been around 11 p.m. last night, Eastern time. And lo and behold, this is around 11 p.m. last night. So market reacted pretty aggressively to that during the Asia session, and currency strength chart reflecting New Zealand dollar weakness. It's opening bell. Stocks this week have hung in there index wise, not a lot of direction. You can see that the SPY gapped a little bit higher. We have, essentially the whole week's been indecisive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had CPI data on Wednesday. We had PPI data yesterday, so we have more inflation numbers being read. Big tech leads the way. If you're looking at the QQQ, you're like, oh, the QQQ makes new highs. Well, a lot of that is Apple, Microsoft, Google, and let me see, I looked this up yesterday. QQQ market cap weighting. It should be right here. All right, I'll log into the YouTube channel, say hi to everybody. Sorry if I'm talking quiet. I just got done playing basketball and had a nice little collision and bit my tongue pretty badly. So it's a little on the sore side. So talking's really fun this morning. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. 12.6% weight Microsoft, 12.49% weighting on Apple, Amazon 6.52, Nvidia 5.17. So right there, just with 4 companies, 5.17, 6.52, 12.49, and 12.60. Almost 37% of the QQQ is being controlled by 4 companies. That's a lot of weight. Well, and also you throw Google in there. Class A, Class C, that's another 7%. So over 40% is pretty much 5 companies. It's kind of ridiculous. And if you want to get really crazy, throw in Meta and Tesla. Now you have, 7 or 8 companies, and it's almost 50%. So that's what's holding up the markets, right? But we're showing indecision on the SPY. We keep showing this trickle a little bit higher. The market is optimistic and excited about one thing this year. Who can tell me what it is? What's the market excited about this year? AI. Yeah. Chat GPT, anything AI. That seems to be the snazzy word going around where it's popped up in a lot of earnings calls. It's popped up in transcripts. It's popping up all over the place where I don't know, it's giving investors hope that this is at least forward thinking. So yes. Morning, Craig. Morning, FK. Morning, Matt. Morning, Jan. How are you? Happy Friday. All right. Little crowd today. What's up with that? Where all my peeps at? Okay, so QQQ up a little bit higher, 326. I'm still, I know that that doesn't seem to be a lot of traction. I'm wondering if we do have a pullback of some sort. I would be interested, especially on Microsoft and some of the big tech plays, is buying dips. So, do we have a breakout? It's possible. Could we go from lows to highs, and could Microsoft be up 62 to 63% this year? That'd be nuts, but it is possible. So, yeah, a pullback into this area, I'm still looking to buy dips and see if we can retest those highs. So how much is left in that move? Probably about 15% maybe. So if we just continue to go higher, we get to the highs, it's about 13%. Yep, about 12.5 to 13%. So does it feel like we missed the boat? I mean, it just depends. Are we going to new highs? Possibly. One thing we can look at for today also, just do a quick screener, and it might seem like, oh my gosh, the stock market's so bad, but the reality is there are stocks hitting new highs right now. So if we go to, let me try to find some average volume that's a decent amount, over 500,000 shares. We'll go 50-day high low. We'll go 5% or more below high. Let's see, 5%. Okay, so I'm just going to go just off of highs. That's a lot of stocks. New high, 5% or low. Let's see here. Price-wise, exchange doesn't matter. Sector doesn't matter. Not right now. Optionable. Okay, we still have a lot. So I'm trying to take down, thousands of stocks. I've got 1885. That's way too many. So I'm going to get a little bit more specific here. I'm going to go growth positive the next 5 years. Now we're down to 976. Anything else here? Past 5 years, fine. Dividend ratio doesn't really matter. If it's, especially as it's growth, there might not be any dividends. What else? Institutional performance. Nope, just today, beta price. What else would I look for here? Insider ownership. Growth this year. Let's go positive for growth this year. Now we're down to 530. Let me see if I can get to 1 million shares and filter it out a little bit. 335. Okay. So I could probably chip away at this and go sector by sector. I could probably go non-US as well. Oh, market cap. There we go. I want to go a little market cap action. That should help. We'll go at least mid, over 2 billion, 249. If I go large, let's see, small. Yeah, I think mid cap's good, 249. And then I go sector. Anything in technology, 56 stocks. So here, and I was just going to say a lot of this is probably going to be semiconductors, and sure enough, software application, cloud computing, a lot of these are just off the highs, pretty decent volume, optionable, positive growth the next 5 years, liquid stocks. So there's certainly some things we can dive into. We can look at, performance for the year as well. Let's see, week, month, quarter. Let's go quarter. Quarter up. There we go. Let me take this to any. So we have 35 stocks. This is a pretty good filter. I mean, for thousands of stocks, all of a sudden we have 35. We have positive EPS growth the next 5 years, which is good outlook. We're I know it's only 12 days into Q2. See if there's any other filters in here. Half up. Takes a little bit higher. I'll just go for the quarter then. What's been moving in April? 35 stocks. So I'll take this into the trading room this morning at 10 o'clock at Equities on Demand. We'll dive into these a little bit deeper. I'm really looking at. I certainly don't like the feeling of buying high. Some of these, might be positioned for us to look for some range trading. But if we start placing some chart alarms, getting some breakouts, these might be some stocks on the radar that could show some growth opportunities this year. One thing I'm pretty interested in right now is focusing on emerging markets. I know this week in my stocks and options trading room, we have been looking at some opportunities on Chinese companies. Here is Baidu. This is kind of your Google equivalent to China. So we have a straddle going out to December. We also took a little earnings play for next week, looking to see if we have a positive move. They average about 7 to 8% movement for earnings. Alibaba, same thing here. Looking for a straddle. We're at the bottom side of this range. So if we hold this range and we pop up here towards 100 plus, nice little trade. We need price to get above 100 by December, which I think is possible. I'm looking to do quite a few option trades around both of those stocks, Alibaba and Baidu. All right. Morning, Scott. Morning, Mark. Donna, good morning. Okay. So non-US banks, one that we're holding, BSAC, trading at 1958. I'm going to see if we hit these chart alarms at 20 and 2050. Material wise, let me go sector. Let me actually take a look at some sectors. And we'll take a look at a couple things year to date. Sector tracker. We'll go year to date. It's going to be all communication services, which again, huge tech companies are involved in communication services and technology leading the way. So energy is down for the year. Oil, has filled that gap. We had that big bounce at $63. Financials, regional bank drama, that's still happening. Everything else is just kind of clinging to very low growth. So if you're looking for growth, it's big companies. Meta, Google, Netflix, Comcast is up for the year, pretty good. We go back to technology, NVIDIA, semiconductors, right? Advanced micro devices, semiconductors, Salesforce, customer management, Apple, Microsoft. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't it seem like there's not a lot of variety? Big tech and semiconductors and anything that's AI, awesome. So there you go. There's your stock market 2023. Okay, let's get into currencies. I want to take a look at the big metrics here. Dollar index 102.31. So finally, the dollar starting to show some signs to the upside. We had a couple chart alarms that are likely one of them would get hit. So if this one gets hit, today or tomorrow or today or next week, that's a good sign for this to continue to hold. This was the technical outlook I was looking at. We get above this trend line, high to low. We're expecting price to come back into this yellow box here. So if I'm looking at long dollar for right now, that's my target, right around 105 to 106. Protecting profit there, and then looking for dollar weakness later. And again, I say that, and it might be, this might be a slight channel as well. Now that I see that, we might want to go just a smidge higher. Connect this high to this high, and take this line here, something like that. So it might be a channel. The reason I'm putting that slight angle is I'm just connecting these dots right here, and then we have a pivot cluster and pocket. So, we could come up into this zone, hit this yellow box around 106, maybe see some indecision. It might come right back up to this high around 107 to 108, but I'm looking for dollar weakness. So this happens to be, Q4 especially. If this is Q4 when the Fed starts cutting rates, or if they start cutting rates later this year, then I think the market will get really excited to hit the dollar pretty hard. But for right now, it looks like we have some dollar strength that's going to take us into the end of the month. I mean, with yesterday's candle, today's candle still pushing green. If we break this chart alarm at 102.50, then I think the dollar is heading up towards 105, 106. Oil, 71.61, so we're well off the lows at 63. Took about a week to get this chart fixed. So this wick was absent until I think yesterday. So now it's fixed, which is good. But oil is still resistance at the 200 EMA, support at the $65 mark, and we're looking for maybe something like this. Just tighter pricing on gold or on oil for right now. Gold and silver. So gold's still hanging in there, but I'm a little cautious on the upside for gold because if the dollar gets strong in the near term, then this is the fifth wave completion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is going to take some time to finish this fifth wave, and then we have an ABC correction, gold is likely going to drop back into the 1800s. 18, let's say 1800, 1850. But I'm not looking to sell gold yet. If we get a chance to sell it, I'm selling it up here at like 2070, 2075. I'll just trade it with options. I'll trade GLD. But if I'm right, awesome. There's a good potential setup there. If I'm wrong, then I'll gladly, stop reverse or put in some bullish exposure as well. But watching this one closely, silver had a pretty rough day yesterday. That's a big sell-off candle on silver. It was divergent, so we had high and high divergent, so it dropped a little bit. If this is a little bit of a bear flag pattern, it might settle back in towards $21.50 to $22. Still looking at something like this channel-wise. So I'm still liking support on silver and still going to buy it. Morning, Denise. How are you? Bitcoin, saw we had a pivot hit, another slide. So monthly pivot, weekly pivot, right around this 26K mark, 26,440. So if we are correct with this little head and shoulders pattern, then breaking. I'm curious how how bearish this gets, but there's certainly some pockets to trade back to towards 21, 23. We have major support right here at 20K. So as I've said for the last couple of months, is look for a range when we have a range trade, right? Buy 20, exit at 30, buy 20, exit at 30. Repeat that. I mean, if we have let's say 3, 4, 5 opportunities to repeat that, that's 50% upside on all those trades. That's a great setup. So watching that. Alrighty. What else? Any stocks, any charts, anything else you'd like to take a look at this morning? Futures wise, things are a little softer. Let's go to Market Watch right here. Futures market 0.2, 0.7 or 0.27, 0.2. So pretty quiet. Asia markets mixed today. European markets all green, but fractional, less than 1%. US markets just getting started with some gaps, but a lot of indecision on the major indices. So in fact, this week was a super, super quiet week. I mean, as far as movement goes, it is really, really low. Man, I mean, our 20-day trading range, our average true range is $4.64 on the SPY. That is, I mean, if we're lucky, maybe 1% for the week. And this week it's pretty much nowhere. So that's been a tough one. So I mean, as far as the bigger direction of breakout, still resistant at 415. The Qs are trying to leak a little bit higher, and again, it's probably because 50% of the QQQ is pretty much carried by 5 or 6 companies, and those companies are doing well. One way to expose this is to buy the dip on the Qs, but at the same time, I mean, if you're following Apple, if you're following Microsoft, you're following Tesla, Nvidia, I mean, a lot of those companies are doing pretty well this year, right? Apple's all the way up towards 173. We might revisit the highs at 1. I mean, this is 182.50. If we hit those highs, that's a pretty good milestone considering where we were in 2022, right? So it's all possible. All right, let's get into some currencies. Aussie CAD. I'm still holding Aussie CAD long. Aussie Swiss pulled back the last couple of days, but still, holding fine off the lows. New Zealand Swiss probably took a huge hit to the downside last night. Aussie yen pulling back again. Aussie New Zealand still haven't been interesting. Yeah, I mean, we did not get stopped out, so I'm still holding this trade, and we see that Kiwi weakness overnight. So our Aussie New Zealand is okay. Honestly, if we see, I told traders this week in my flex room that if we get back to 108, that'll be a break even on trade 1 and 150 pips on trade 2. So I might be willing to protect it there, but we might find ourselves maybe range bound, and maybe we can take this all the way back up towards 109. So I don't know, maybe I'll take a break even on this trade, and then 106.50 I'll just put it to plus 25 or 30 and see if it'll run up to 109 and grab a few more pips out of that. So the good thing is we did not get stopped out, and we're still in the trade. Aussie dollar took a sell trade, and it's working out nicely. Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar both we sold. Let me check in those really quickly. I also need to check in on my robots this week and see how we're doing. I have a new robot that I deployed called Masterflex. A lot of people know about that one, but I put in a currency strength update so I can use it as a kind of a daily scalping, where it's just going to expose anything that's strong versus weak. So let me check here on my trades for this week. So I'm just logging in on my phone. Inflation expectation numbers came out lower. Yep, I saw that. That's what I knew they had inflation expectations. It came in 2.79. So if the market reacted that way, I think it's just because maybe the RBNZ is not going to have to raise rates, or they're going to pause essentially if they hit a pause cycle. So portfolio positions, Aussie dollar we're up 55 pips from our trade this week. New Zealand dollar up 107 pips from trades this week. I'm trying to think what else. We took profit on Euro New Zealand. We took profit on Pound New Zealand. Those trades are done, and I'm glad we did. Well, yeah, I'm glad we did because that would have went against us. We took profit on Euro CAD, which I'm glad we did. So okay, New Zealand CAD is pulling back. We're up actually a decent amount of profit on that one. That pulled back about 100 pips. But yeah, up about 150 pips from our New Zealand dollar and Aussie dollar trades this week. Anything else? That's about it. Let me check on my robots. See how they did this week. Morning, Range. How are you? Check a little MyFX book action on my other screen. Okay, I'll keep flipping through some currencies. Here's CAD Swiss. Some indecision. Hopefully this is a pullback and still need to break this trend line. Right? We break this trend line. CAD Swiss looks good. We're still getting some positive swap on a lot of our. I mean, for me, I'm getting positive rollover on currencies that I'm holding against the Swiss. Obviously, pip wise, I'm just kind of waiting to see if I get the turn. My profit potential on this one is it's two levels. If we break this trend line, I'm looking for this to be a bull pattern right here. So we come back and we retest this high or visit this high, and then I'm buying any dips that I can get my hands on to take it back to this green box. And this might also come all the way back up here. That's still a pocket from a Swiss National Bank rate decision back at 7,600. So if this is a 5-wave move, we could get wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and get this all the way back to 75 or 76, and that would be some big old profits. All right, Perfect Storm Pro is up 465 pips this week. Ugh, Benji, you're killing me. That's not a pig that I'm holding. That's my dog. He says hi. 465 for Perfect Storm Pro. And the original Perfect Storm also had a pretty good week, up 439 pips. The Pockets Pattern Pro Reversion Robot had 189 pips. And my Equalizer, let me take a look at my buy and sell. My sell side was up 1842 for the week, and my buy side was, I saw red, 1741. So let me add it all up. So I have 465 for Perfect Storm. That's Perfect Storm Pro. I have 439 for the original Perfect Storm. I have 189 for my Pockets Pattern Pro. I have 1842 for my Equalizer Pro buy side. I'm sorry, my sell side. My mistake. That's a sell side. So my sell side did really well this week. Had 1842, and then my buy side was down about 1700, 1741 minus 1741. So net I'm up 1100 pips this week with full auto. I'll get a MyFX book tracker for my Master Flex, which is going to be a daily scalper. Basically, it's going to do this. If I have on my currency strength chart, if I have a weakness below 40 or I have strength above 40, that's my trade for the day. So in this instance, I would be New Zealand, Swiss, and it'd be short for the day. And also pound New Zealand long. That would have been about the only trades. So I mean, and you can look at this and you're like, well, you should trade the entire Kiwi basket. Yeah, you can do that. You can just trade, weakness only and strength only. But I don't want to over trade with this thing. I'm looking to trade this, every day if it's offered. So I'm trying to just expose the strong versus weak and take those trades. So 40 seems to be a pretty good breakout number. We typically have some follow through with that. So anyway, it's been something we reviewed quite a bit the last couple of months. through Masterflex and our strategy sessions. So it's looking good. Okay. Hey, Charles, how are you? Hey, Greg, good morning. What's happening? All right, let's get to some more currency pairs. Yen crosses. CAD yen a little indecisive. Swiss yen. I'm looking for some Swiss yen confirmation. We're close to getting it. We really are. I'm still not entirely convinced here, but it's nice to see a long wick to the north on this trade. Today's candle, for example. So if we either break this structure, or maybe we do this. Maybe we come back and retest again, and we just form like a rising wedge, and then this thing breaks and goes lower. Or if we start confirming now, that's fine. Get below 149.10. There's a lot of downside potential for a small risk. Reward to risk on Swiss yen, euro yen, and pound yen are as good as I can find right now. Euro Aussie, we'll hold off on this one. We took profit on a Euro CAD. We were in at 5,000, took profit around 46.50. Euro Swiss hanging in there. Euro pound, we got the pullback that we wanted. We could look for a sell trade on Euro pound. Euro yen still sliding lower. So our Masterflex, we have an auto system that's running with this break below 146.50. Euro New Zealand, big turn. That's a lot of volatility. But having said that, though, it's like just be careful, because this, I mean, is this a pull back into this pocket and then we fade this lower? Inflation expectations, or is this like somehow the Kiwi is like weak today, but it's still going to be maybe stronger through the summer as things slow down and we look at those higher yielding currencies? So I'm not full on like, oh, it's going to be Kiwi weakness. I mean, I don't know. It might be today's a big day. It kind of, I don't know. I think the carry trade is still a very positive thing with the New Zealand dollar. Euro dollar. Okay, so I'm going to look at a stop reverse on euro dollar right in here. So stop reverse, euro dollar, head back down towards 106. We'll talk about that. Well, I can get that trade running now. So I'm going to look at a stop reverse where I moved my stop loss up from 108.50 to 109. And now I'm going to do a sell trade. That'll be trade 1. If we get a pullback to equal highs, that'll be a trade 2. And then a stop loss above. And my target's going to be down here to the range lows. So I'm going to go after some dollar strength. Okay. That'll be euro dollar. Pound Aussie. Pound CAD, we're long at this past resistance becoming support. Hopefully that's the case to hit this high around 7,200. Pound Swiss, a lot of indecision, but hopefully we're going to hold this level around 110 and end up breaking above this 200 EMA. Pound yen, sitting up here equal highs, we get a little bit more bearishness, looking for some short-term bearish alignments. Pound New Zealand, big move to the upside just in a pullback, but not jumping into that right now. This could also be a crown pattern. This low, this low. This could be just an aggressive, volatile crown pattern. So we'll assess that one next week. Pound dollar. I'm glad we took profit up here near the highs at 26.50 because it's pulling back. New Zealand CAD pulling back again, but I'm still going to hold long. New Zealand Swiss pulling back, but I'm still going to hold long. New Zealand yen. We talked about it got through the ribbons most likely to the downside, so this would be a short trade. New Zealand dollar. We sold it. It's working out great. It's up 100 some pips, like 110 pips from this week. Dollar CAD, just stupid dollar CAD. Can't buy low enough, can't sell on it high enough, and it's a tough one. Dollar Swiss, I'm still hanging on my longs. Dollar yen is possibly clinging to support and maybe still willing to go to 137.50 to 140. So, all right, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to switch gears. I see more people have tuned in, so we're going to wrap it up for the day. So Monday, I won't be live on Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I won't be live. I may post a video that hits my channel at 9:30 and just do like a premiere. You know how you can post a video and it'll launch it for 9:30 a.m. I could do that, and I would just do that video Monday morning and just post it at 9:30, or I can do it Sunday night. So either way, I should have some content on my YouTube page on Monday. I don't have any classes on Monday. I'll be gone out of the office for the day. But we'll still be back at it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and business as usual. But anyway, that's it. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. And Equity on Demand students, I'll see you right now. And we still have Masterflex this afternoon. I'm also teaching a Wealth of Freedom. So a couple live classes today to wrap it up. Alrighty. I'll see you in Stocks and Options class right now. Thanks. Bye.